Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. So ORCID has researchers in 250 countries, which is every ISO recognized country in the world. There are over 9 million researchers who actively use their ORCID record every year. We have nearly 1,300 members in 57 different countries. So over 4,700 systems integrate with ORCID, which means that ORCID plays a critical role in connecting the ecosystem of the research community, mostly publishers, funders, and employers of researchers. So ORCID is an acronym, and it stands for the Open Researcher and Contributor Identifier. So we provide three main services. So first is the ORCID ID, which is the free, unique, persistent 16-digit identifier for researchers. And it's the researchers that own and control their record forever. And so it's the ID and the record that distinguishes and disambiguates researchers from each other throughout their careers. Second, ORCID provides this record, or sometimes it's called a profile, to capture researchers' research-related information and activities over time. Third, we want the data to be used as much as possible in order to reduce the administrative burden on researchers so they don't have to rekey their data into various forms. So what we do is we provide APIs so thousands of systems can integrate and transfer data between the ORCID record and your internal research systems. So the API allows ORCID members to read, write, and update data in ORCID records. So here's an example. So Sofia Maria Hernandez Garcia is our representative researcher. So imagine Sofia is a researcher at your organization. So Sofia's unique ID number is on the top. You'll see it here, and it ends in 2427. And the rest of this is Sophia's record or her profile, whichever you'd like to call it. So Sophia registered for an ORCID ID by going to our website, orcid.org, and even the slowest typer, it takes them 60 seconds to register for an ORCID ID. So we keep it free and easy for researchers as possible. So with Sophia's ORCID record, she is in full control of this record over the course of her career, and she decides what information goes into the record. So she can write data to her record, but she can also approve organizations that she trusts to write data to her record for her. And this is certainly ORCID's preference when organizations write data for the researcher, because it reduces the administrative burden on researchers, but it also increases the quality and accuracy of the data as well. So ORCID has an important role in the scientific community. Once researchers register for an ORCID ID, the organizations that hire, fund, and publish their work can write this activity to the ORCID record of their researchers. And this is providing trusted information and enabling transparency and integrity to the researcher's professional activity, like their employment, training, funding, and publications. So the global scientific community understands and is discussing that there's a greater need for trust and transparency in science. So ORCID has a role in the technical infrastructure to enable trust and transparency by clearly identifying the source of the data in an ORCID record. And we've recently added a green check mark to visually indicate, to help reviewers quickly understand and identify the trusted data within an ORCID record that they're reviewing. So if your organization works with researchers in any capacity, if you employ researchers, fund, or publish the results of researchers, you may be interested in knowing more about your researchers and want updates about their affiliations, funding, and publications. So if this is the case, then you can connect your system to ORCID, and we will send you this data to update your system automatically. And we've timed it from the time of publication to updating your system is about 40 minutes. And the other way, if your organization is interested in writing data to ORCID records, which will increase the discoverability of that data, again, to facilitate also trust and transparency as well, you can do that as well. To write data to ORCID records requires membership with ORCID. We do try to keep membership fees as low as possible in order to get maximum adoption across the scientific community. Now, ORCID records are indexed actively by the major search engines. And so by writing data to ORCID record really will enhance the trust and transparency and dissemination of the data that you write to ORCID records. If you're considering some policies at your organization, a popular policy is to ask your researchers to get an ORCID ID and share it with your organization, and to make sure your organization has a system to collect all of these ORCID IDs. If you'd like to join ORCID, then we can connect you to the APIs to be able to read and also write data to ORCID records, and then you're also able to update data as well. So, and again, I've mentioned this, but some of the data to consider is employment, funding, publications, and I'll quickly add one more because of this community. There's an area in an ORCID record called research resources, which is for research instruments. So if you'd like to improve the data around your researchers that are using your research instruments of significance, we can help enable that as well. So I'll stop there, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.